So welcome Nnimmo Bassey to our booth here in Cancun, and first of all let me say congratulations for receiving the Alternativen Nobelprize just this weekend.
Thank you so much.
And welcome back to Berlin. So I'm curious to know, so the next COP is happening on the African continent. How do you plan to make use of that fact?
I think the COP in Durban, South Africa will provide a very good opportunity for civil society as well as the governments of Africa to address issues that affect the continent particularly. The African continent is known as the region that is most vulnerable to climate changes besides the small island states who have the direct potential of disappearing due to sea level rise. So we believe that being so close home, African leaders and negotiators will have to speak the truth about the crisis and not just see the climate change challenge as an opportunity to seek for finance or some technology or some other thing, but really to look at the root cause and then to address the African people on the continent about what they must do and what they're going to do as policymakers to change the situation. So it's going to be an opportunity at that level for policymakers to really speak to the real issues. It's going to be an opportunity for civil society to mobilize. It's going to be more or less a people's COP, as some people have said, and I believe the civil society space will be really active. Already we have a mobilized South Africa and civil society, so being close to Africa, I believe we're going to have a big turnout of people who will not accept the waste of time that has characterized past conference of parties.
So your organization is Environmental Rights Action Nigeria, so you work on the national level in Nigeria on these issues as well. How do you link that with the international process, the international climate process?
Well, it does happen that some of the issues we work on are intricately linked to the climate crisis facing the continent and of course global climate crisis. One of it is our work on the extractive industry sector. Global warming is driven by release of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. And if you come to Nigeria, the biggest single source is the gas flares in the Niger Delta. 23 billion cubic meters of gas flared every year, worth $2.5 billion every single year. The oil companies have behaved in such an irresponsible way, flaring gas, polluting the atmosphere, stoking carbon into the atmosphere, causing problems for both the local environment and the global environment. So this linkage of grassroots mobilization and struggles and resistance to this kind of destructive activity finds a clear space in the international global space provided by the COP. Also, we're going to bring up the issue of deforestation. The forests in Africa are quite fast disappearing. In Nigeria, less than 10% of the regional rainforest remains. And we're hearing talks about what to do about reduce emissions, reduce emissions through deforestation and degradation, the RED Plus, and so on and so forth. But we're not hearing governments talk about stopping deforestation. So we're seeing forests in a different way. And I think on the African continent, we're going to demand that the forests be seen for what they are. We're going to demand that the land grabs going on in Africa should be tackled by our policymakers. Because right now, you're looking for, people said, agrofuels or biofuels are alternative to fossil fuels, but this is simply not true. Biofuels will never replace fossil fuels. They can at best add up to it. So we need to ask the African government to move away completely from the fossil fuel-driven civilization that has brought the climate crisis.
Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.